Welcome to Upside DIY. So here's the last I connected. Kind of see me moving the string. So I'm gonna loop it a few times, tie it off. So I just knotted it a little bit. But I'm gonna end up using the rest of the or the fishing line, just just a double weave. Right here I've skipped these two that are kind of covered in glue, and then I knotted. So it's a pretty good project, I think. I'm actually trying to finish it up. I've got pretty much halfway. It actually takes quite a lot of. Probably gonna have to finish it off and just show you guys some of the main projects in 2025. I've got the cooler, and then I've got kind of like the dental molds. Um, so and how I'm going to finish off this seal. I'm going to use pretty much the green glue, which is this stuff, and then I'm going to get some clear silicone for the top part. And then this bottom part, I might do the same. It's just I like how silicone and the green glue is really sticky stuff, so it's going to stay really flexible still and things like that. But I'm gonna probably have to finish up a few of these gaps and things first with epoxy, and then coat everything with green glue and silicone and things like that. So kind of glued down some places, and things are going to get really stiff and stuff, so it's going to really seal up really good, I think. Or everything's kind of filled in as much as possible, and then I'm gonna just where I could, just get to them at a good time. So, and it shouldn't be that hard. I'm probably going to end up using a piece of this stuff to spread some of the cardboard, while repairing some of the cardboard. So, um, you know, try to, I could probably just let's just go ahead and cut this, and I could probably use like any excess tape also. So right here I've got pretty much two, which is all I really need for now. I can put this somewhere else for anything else, but so I got two pieces of this, and I could just probably use any excess tape that I have saved up. So kind of the first piece I started there, and then it went into a diagonal. So with this another piece, I kind of started at this corner, and then it diagonaled, and now it's gonna go all the way back around. So, and even like with the spare green glue that's on this tape, but it went all the way across there, so making pretty useful spreader type situations. Um, you know, so if I could, reuse, I might even just start adding, so just whatever larger pieces. So I got a really good piece to start this one. It basically started right here, then it diagonaled, I think, right here, went down, or went to this side. Well, YouTube, so I found another DIY project after a few hours and just trying to figure out a few things. Looked around, found some cardboard from one of the socks, basically. And then now I'm just going to reuse a lot of the tape that I used for the gluing the shoes. And I should have some pretty good spreaders for my cardboard projects. The sharper angles or edges are going to, just be really good. So the so I got, that one piece was just a straight, but just, combining, this is a double ply piece, and also combining a previous project with, and reusing a lot of the tape from that into something really useful that's going to be around. And yeah, just put another piece. If I could get this edge covered up as much as possible without being too tacky or, just having things falling apart. And the same thing with this, there's different edges and things. It just depends. I was actually having fun with the first pieces, just knowing that I'm going to get a good product when I finish, and just mainly getting used to it, and finding where the bottom edge is really important for something like this. So I got that covered up, and using a bunch of. So yeah, I got two spreaders out of it basically. So right here I used another large piece to basically uh, double tape the bottom edge, which is good enough. And I need to do the same with any of the extra large pieces left over. So here's another layer for that one. And even though the very bottom is going to start getting filled in with some glue and silicone, it's going to keep a really good shape. I could really work on kind of the handle, but a lot of the you know, heavy duty stuff needs to kind of be at where the scraping and the pushing for siliconing. So I got a really long piece, I don't know, but I'm gonna actually reinforce, just and go vertical or, perpendicular. So, just sealed up that towards the bottom, ended up right perfectly right there. I could probably do one more for this, or do the same thing, just reinforce just any of the spots probably on that one. And I think I have only three more, but here's a really large piece, and I'm going to try to use things evenly, so I'm going to reinforce this one. So I kind of saw this corner being peeled off a little or coming loose, so I'm going to try to do it diagonally on this piece, and then just go diagonal. So I actually used one of the other pieces at the same time, just because ends needed to be covered or connected, this and that. So yeah, it's kind of, and got a lot of just one side. But yeah, so it's just taping up. But now I've got this to just basically have, just in case. There might be a couple other smaller pieces, or maybe just adding fresh tape just to finish up a few things, which is probably a good thing when ends. And now that big pile of mess and stuff is just has been reused, or big wad of tape, as people will call it. So I'm gonna just add some fresh tape just to seal, just just you know um, just this being at a curve isn't really good for tape, just because the tape's going to go diagonal. But I'm going to add right in the middle just to lock everything, and then so I locked in the middle, and then I ended up at the very top, so I'm going to have a piece to lock in anything. So I got a little bit of the cardboard covered up. So I went around one more time. So that's a fresh piece. And also, hopefully, I could really use this eventually. Probably will use it when I, you know, clear up. This is probably the number one, and this is going to be number two. And I actually have a piece of tape over here. Um, probably at the very tip, but I'm gonna lock in kind of like the last parts. So just uh, you know, wherever I can. So I locked in a few things with that last piece, and then got to towards the bottom, covered it up. So I'm just looking for spots that I could cover up and then, you know, make hard, hard. And the same thing, just with the one piece of tape, looking for if I could wrap it around, and where it's going to finish off is probably at that last spot. But it was kind of close to the bottom, so I brought it back up, covered two spots, and I'm going to cut the tape and wrap the tape over towards the, just where the top, where my hand's going to just really hold it. So that's pretty cool. I think, after working on this, finishing this up, just finishing up, I got pretty much useful spreaders. I really needed this stuff, like I mentioned, with a lot of the glue and epoxies or something. And larger surface jobs and things or projects, with cardboard, whether it be for cardboard, things that I'm gluing and stuff. These two are going to, help me manage a lot of the, of, things I could reuse and make useful, and also got a lot of the tape. So that was a pretty good, thing after all this stuff that I've been doing, with all the gluing and, these were basically good gifts, basically, to help me, further my DIY projects. And perhaps, probably the, last part is just these dental molds. I'm going to try to at least have a cast with most of the supplies that I have. So I'm finishing up a lot of stuff. I do have pretty much like the screws, the conical screws that actually screw into the gum lines, and then crowns and things like that. But I don't think I'm going to do those for myself. But I started making these for myself, for like a denture or a partial type of false, partitions and things like that. So working on these. So that's just boxes I need to sort out. I've got a couple of roll arounds like this, and the one back there to help sort out things. And then I've got the suitcase, and I really want to just start just a trinket box. I could put a lot of stuff away. So this is basically something that I should have used. Yeah, definitely don't want to use a really big box. So I think I'm gonna use whatever makes more sense. So one of these other small boxes like this, it's got a cut off flap and things like that. This is going to be where I'm going to put a lot of small stuff that are still useful, but and then basically have some space up here. So I basically saw a small box right here to put some other random items and trinkets. So like these small items, like this tool, scraper tool, they could actually go into something better, but useful, I think. Be tough, but picked up a few plastic compartments, really nice crafting items. But just clearing out the shelf off the so basically, reorganizing, cleaning up as much as I can with the shelf and stuff is going to, just so one more crazy glue, which is going to be pretty good, which is but yeah, but and some more DIY crafts. Really hard to break apart a few things, but there's the exactly